Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Abundant Wednesdays. We have a returning guest with us today. My business partner, Nina McNamara, and myself, Shelley Hagan, are here with the Abundant Investors, and we have our returning guest, Kurt Warner. Kurt was here and talked to us a couple weeks ago about getting started in his real estate business. And now he's here to talk a little bit about kind of what he's looking to do going forward. And he has a new business venture, which is a kind of a cool little side deal that they got going on, him and his partners. And we thought it'd be great to have him come and talk a little bit about that. So I'll turn it over to Nina.
Excellent. Hi, everyone. And thanks so much for being here again, Kurt. It's always nice to see your face and your mug. And speaking of mugs, I did a bit of a Freudian slip last time when I was talking about beer. So I think this is a great segue to talk about something new and exciting that you've got going. And we'll talk about your podcast in just a second. But I just have loved watching your evolution and how you've grown and not just developed yourself as a real estate investor, but stepping outside your comfort zone and moving forward and stuff like that. So you've got lots on the agenda for 2022 and beyond. So let's share a bit about this, but let's talk about your beer or your podcast and have a chat about that so we can share with our listeners.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny when you mentioned that last time, but yeah, we did start a podcast earlier this year. I think we just released our 5th episode, or going to release our 5th episode this week. And it's called Logger and Listings. And my business partners and I with JFK Properties have a unique way of coming up with new ideas and business decisions and how we move forward. And most of the time, it's meeting and over a beer. So when we came up with the idea of starting a podcast, one of my business partners, Jerry, said, why don't we just call it Logger and Listings? Because we're talking about real estate and usually we're having a chat over a beer. So that's the name of the podcast. And it kind of ties into some other business ventures that we've kind of been discussing. None are launched yet, but we do talk about them in our podcast and we'll be kind of moving forward. But we do want to start our own vodka called JFK Vodka. Now, because of, I guess, how at least here in Ontario, the LCBO runs, they take a large percentage of sales there. So the second idea that came out of it, how can we still do our own brand of vodka and sell it? And we're like, well, why don't we start a restaurant? So that's now another idea for a few years. So it's interesting if people listen to our podcast, they'll start to get, how wild ideas happen and how we make decisions. I think one of the more recent episodes, we're talking about investing in real estate and where to invest next. And we talked about Spain, we talked about Trinidad, we talked about out east, which we are working on a deal out east right now, and also talked about Florida and getting into your world, Nina, short-term rental.
Oh, love it, love it, love it.
So one thing I would say to people that are investing or entrepreneurs is there's no such thing as a bad idea. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are scared of, I can't really share this idea, or that's crazy. And ideally, there's no real new idea right now. It's just taking what somebody else has already done and just trying to bring it into your own world. And you'll have hundreds of ideas as an entrepreneur, as an investor. And some of them will be great ideas that you move forward with. Some you'll get to a certain point and like, okay, it's not going to go in a different direction. But I think it's part of the fun. Like, I think any entrepreneur that isn't out there having fun isn't really an entrepreneur. And just like getting into short-term rentals, Shelley, when you started with wholesale, investing in the US, getting into development, it's all new for the first time. And you have to have fun. There's a little bit of nerves that go along with it, but at the end of the day, it helps you. It's what gets you up in the morning and makes you look forward to every day.
Absolutely. You got to keep things new and fresh. And I always say that there's always something new to learn in real estate. It's such a big field, really. There's so many opportunities, and there's so many different ways to do deals in real estate. Take what someone else has done, tweak it to make it your own, whatever you want it to do. But it is a lot of fun. The fun part is coming up with the ideas and finding the deals and working the deal.
No, absolutely. And, as we've kind of progressed, like our first deal was a sixplex. And then last year we picked up a daycare that was a converted church, now a daycare. So that we now own a daycare, or one of our tenants is a daycare. Now we're looking at 25 units out east, looking at short-term rental in Florida. And it's just kind of making those transitions and kind of growing. If all we did was just do, six plexes for the rest of our investing career, that would get kind of boring and monotonous. So always looking for a new challenge.
Mm-hmm. I find as investors, we have this frame of mind where we have to keep changing and evolving. And I think the key thing there is to have fun and still have that passion for it. Now, I know a couple of the guys in your group, and I know you guys have a lot of fun. So I imagine it would be just, I can't wait to listen to more of your podcasts, but just getting together and brainstorming and throwing those ideas off of other people, which I find really critical when you're an investor. If you don't have that partner, like even like your the partner in your household, maybe you need a partner outside the household so you can run ideas against and your network and stuff like that. And it grows. It's amazing what all these minds can come up with. So it's exciting. So you mentioned short-term rentals in Florida. Anywhere else you want to go in the world? What's the world offering you?
Anywhere that makes sense. So I tend to be the numbers person. I do all the analysis on the deal. So as long as the numbers work, I'm good. Somewhere warm. I know it's spring in Canada, but it's somewhere warm. So yeah, anywhere like that would be great.
Yes.
And I think for all of us as well, and I know, Nina, you mentioned this as well, with your boys, like how you've brought them along with you, and legacy is very important to us as well. So myself and my two business partners, we all have kids. I also have grandkids. So we want to really build a legacy. So one of the things that we did recently, which I thought was pretty cool, we actually brought our kids in on the deal with us, where they are also financial partners.
Oh my God, I love that. That is amazing.
Great idea. Such a good idea.
So it was a way for us to, and actually it was, I think the second oldest child that's part of this group, it was actually her idea, because she was curious about what we were doing, what her dad was doing from an investment standpoint, and wanted to learn more. And so we got together, the three of us, and said, well, what a better way than to actually get them involved. So that way it's not just, hey, this is what we're doing, but this is what we're doing. So you're involved in this, you get, paid out as a joint venture partner. So that's, what we've started to help build that, long-term for them.
That is good. So amazing. I love that. 110%. Now my brain's going click, 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 click.
Exactly.
See, the fun of being investing. If somebody has an idea, you're like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that too.
Yeah.
Well, I love the fact that Nina has a couple of teenage sons, as you know, Kurt, and I don't have any kids, but during COVID, when she was homeschooling, she started teaching them real estate investing as one of their kind of side curriculums, because they had time. They were at home all day. So, so yeah, I think that's awesome that you're doing the same thing with you and your partner's children. That's great.
No, it is very important. I'd encourage anybody that, it doesn't have to be your own kids. It could be family members. It could be nieces, nephews. I think the more that we can teach the younger generation about investing, about being entrepreneurs, it's going to help not only them, but it's going to help the rest of the world. Entrepreneurs create so many opportunities for other people, and they're the ones that, give back and donate not only money, but also time to, those in need. So I think the more that we can impart that in the younger generation, the better off, hopefully, the world will be down the road.
That's great. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yes, well said.
Legacy. Awesome.
Totally. Well, I'm so glad you were able to come and join us again today, Kurt. Like I said, we've known each other for a long time, and I remember meeting your kids when they were young, and so it's so cool that we still have this legacy of our relationship together as well. I have such great friends in real estate investing, people that I've met over the 20 years that I've been involved in this. And it's just, it's like part of our family, right? This other family that I have. So glad to have you with us.
Well, thank you very much for having us. And we will definitely have you on Logger and Listings. And and it'll be great for you guys to share your story with our audience and learn from you guys as well, because you guys have been very instrumental in JFK Properties and our kind of growth as real estate investors, and we appreciate everything that you're doing, not only to help us, but help others as well.
Oh, thank you, Kurt.
Oh, that's so good.
Mwah.
Well, thank you very much. So for all of the people that joined us this week, have a great, abundant week and happy investing. We'll be back again soon. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Bye now.